Thank you.
The Visitor Center is most likely where your Zion National Park adventure is gonna start. The center is open every day of the year from 8 to 5.
Parking is free and is on a first-come, first-served basis. The visitor center is very busy, so if you want to find a place to park, be sure to arrive very early. The center is where you can buy your Zion National Park tickets. Tickets are valid for a week and cost $20 per person or $35 per car. If you plan on attending a few national parks, we highly recommend buying the America the Beautiful Pass. This pass is valid per car for 1 year and only costs $80, an incredible bargain.
The center is also where you can buy souvenirs like patches, posters, hiking books, and pick up trail maps and get all types of park information. And of course, it's where you can get your national park passport stamped.
There's a free shuttle within the national park which operates most of the year.
The scenic drive is about 8 miles or 12.5 kilometers long, and there's 9 shuttle stops, including the one here at the Visitor Center. Getting around Zion National Park is super easy. The only way into the Zion Canyon Scenic Drive for most of the year is via shuttle buses.
The informative drive is about 40 minutes one way and the price is included with your ticket.
You can check with the Visitor Center to find out which stop is best for the hike you want to take.
Buses leave every 5 to 7 minutes and there are water filling stations at every stop, so make sure your water bottles are filled and stay hydrated.
Springdale is located at the entrance of Zion National Park, and this beautiful mountain town is probably the best place to make your base.
Parking is expensive, so it's best to take the bus. There are many bus stops in Springdale, and the best part, it's free. If you're going to Zion from Springdale via shuttle, be sure to give yourself plenty of time. The morning buses were full and it took us longer than we expected to get to the visitor center.
Springdale has many restaurants, grocery stores, rental shops, hotels, and a great brewery, Zion Brewery, where we enjoyed a few delicious local beers. We took a flight because we couldn't decide what to go with. But actually went with a stout and a brown. I went with an echo, and we went with Justin's recommendation. He picked out an amber.
Oh my gosh, this is so good. I didn't try anything else yet, but I love the stout.
coming from the Northwest, of course I'm going to go with the IPA, and this is the Echo Canyon IPA, and it's really great. But this trip, I know that I wanted to expand and see what else is out there. We asked Justin to give us something new, and he went with the Springdale Amber, and actually this is really great.
I love it. Actually, all of them are so delicious.
They are so delicious.
I wouldn't know which one is the best. I like them all.
There is no best. They're
Justin,
all
you
best.
nailed it.
Springdale is gorgeous, and we absolutely loved seeing the wildlife there. We know that many of you travel with dogs, and usually national parks don't allow dogs at all. But here at Zion National Park, there's one trail, the Paris Trail, where you can come and enjoy a stroll with your pooches.
Hey, mate. Hi. The Paris Trail starts at the parking lot behind the visitor center. The trail follows the Virgin River up to the canyon junction and back.
Trail here is probably the easiest trail and hike at the Zion National Park. The path is all paved and it's a beautiful leisurely stroll. Today is gonna be an awesome day. We're gonna go and do Angel's Landing at Zion National Park.
Well, without the Angel's Landing.
Zion is famous for its hikes, and Zion Canyon has 12, ranging from easy 30 minutes to full day hikes. There are 4 additional hikes found outside the canyon.
One of Zion's most famous is the West Rim Trail. This is the trail that takes hikers up to Scout Lookout and onto Angel's Landing, if you dare. After getting off the shuttle at the grotto stop, there is a footbridge that takes you across the Virgin River. Then turn right and follow the West Rim Trail.
The trail starts out with a gentle climb up along the river with breathtaking views of Angel Landing ahead and the valley at your feet. We got a first look at Walter's Wiggles up there. We see people hiking up, and I guess I didn't realize that it's really close to the edge.
It's getting warm. So we made it to the first wiggle of Walter's Wiggles. I think that took us about 35 minutes.
With a lot of stops.
With already a lot of stops, a few water breaks. And the fun is just gonna start.
We made the same mistake that many first-timers to Zion make. We mistakenly thought that this first section of the trail was the famous Walter's Wiggles.
This part of the trail is long and steep, and we were surprised by how narrow and how close the path is to the edge in some places.
Be sure to take this hike at your own pace and don't feel rushed by the other hikers around.
The view of the canyon, the valley, it's just amazing. We finally pulled ourselves away from the views and then entered what is known as Refrigerator Canyon.
This section of the trail is shady and cool, and because of the animals that live here, it is a quiet zone. It's a great place to escape the heat of the day. What came next were the real Walter's Wiggles.
Walter's Wiggles are another set of switchbacks that snake their way up to Scout Lookout and Angel's Landing. The switchbacks here are shorter than the last ones, but are a lot steeper. There are 21 switchbacks in total, and we stopped 1,000 times to try to catch our breath and to give our throbbing legs a break.
I want to give a shout out to Pops, because if you wouldn't have been and I wouldn't have seen you doing Walter's Wiggles, I'm afraid of heights as well. I would have never tried, so thank you.
We weren't alone in taking a lot of breaks and found that the best part of Walter's Wiggles are all the fellow travelers that we met for a chat. There was a true sense of community doing this hike.
We made it to the top of Scout's Landing. It took us just about 2 hours.
In the end, we are really proud that we made it up to Scout Lookout. The West Rim Trail was incredible, and it is something that we will never forget. After resting and catching our breath at Scout Lookout, we then did something that really surprised the both of us. But after completing the Wiggles, we felt like we could conquer the world. We attempted Angel's Landing.
Our hearts were pounding, and we must admit that we were truly scared. I went straight up and glued myself to the rocks along the ridgeback.
And I didn't even make it up there, as my whole body froze at the worst spot there was, right at the edge.
There is no way that we should have attempted Angel's Landing. This hike is for serious hikers, and something could have gone tragically wrong. We were there maybe 5 minutes trying to decide if we could continue or not, and finally built the courage to slowly make our way back down. We did a section of Angel's Landing.
Yeah, we arrived at the Scots Lookout and there were girls just talking and saying, yeah, maybe we just ask if somebody wants our cards. We have 2 permits for Angel's Landing. And I said, it just came out. We take it. So we tried. I didn't make it very far. And
You did well.
my legs are like jello, but I tried. It was awesome.
It was really cool. It was scary, but I think it could be manageable. We have no pictures, no videos really.
And I only saw the chain and my feet, so I don't know how it looks around.
I guess that's all you really do see is the chain and your feet.
If you're like us, Kolob Canyons might be your first stop into Zion National Park. Why? Because Kolob Canyons is located just off Interstate 15 at exit 40.
Hey babe, are you ready for your first hike in the first national park we're doing?
I cannot wait. So excited. Been dreaming about this like forever.
There are 3 hikes at Kolob, 2 of which were closed when we visited in mid-May due to excessive spring snow melt-off.
We did the Taylor Creek Trail, which took us 4.5 hours to complete with photo stops and chats.
As we looked at the map today in the morning and were thinking, what could we do today? We saw Kolob Canyon and we never heard about it. So we thought we should do that. And we came here and learned that this is part of the Zion National Park. And it's amazing. I mean, look at this. Isn't that like, I have no words for this. And one of the best parts also is it's not crowded at all.
I wasn't expecting on this trail, and it might be because of the time of year, is there's so many river crossings. We just talked to a couple hikers and they said that there were 62 water crossings. I'm hoping we're on at least 30.
James is doing so well. I already got wet feet because I kind of slipped a few times, but it'll dry.
We hiked along the middle fork of the Taylor Creek and had to crisscross it many times.
Despite our late start, we were surprised that the trail was empty. We assume it's because this trail is not as famous as the trails inside Zion Canyon, but it doesn't lack in beauty at all.
We hiked through a canyon that was framed by towering red cliffs that raised up sharply on both sides of us. sure this video does not do this justice. This is one of the most incredible things I've ever seen.
Isn't this incredible? God. So they say this is I think a 4-hour return hike, but it's taken us a lot longer. I don't know if it's because of all the water crossings, but they really slow you down. But it's beautiful.
This was a really, really great hike, and still is, because we're far away still from the parking lot. But yeah, we're tired but happy.
Yeah. But you know what? It seems like on the way back, the water seems like it's a little bit higher.
Yeah.
Or maybe we're tired, but the steps have to be a little bit larger now.
We had an unforgettable time at Zion National Park. We stayed almost a week and easily could have stayed longer.
Maybe because it was our very first hike and therefore something special. But the Taylor Creek Trail was one of our favorite hikes in Zion, and we would highly recommend to include a trip to Kolob Canyons in your Zion adventure. We are Maneksha and James, the intrepid traveling golfers behind Puttering Around the World.
With just our backpacks and golf clubs, we set out to travel the world. Subscribe to see where we go to next.